It's so wonderful that the class elects two speakers to represent them on their graduation day. It's a pleasure to introduce the first speaker, and that is Cade Huseby. With a camera almost always in his hand, Cade is a creative young man with extraordinary vision. His quiet nature, confidence, and superb listening skills have enabled him to have an impact as a student leader. Cade inspires with his creativity and has earned the respect of all. Cade, class speaker of 2017. Come on.
Good morning, friends, family, faculty, and staff in the class of 2017. To quote E-Quick from the yearbook, well, that wasn't like High School Musical at all. Which is probably for the best, honestly, because our lunch breaks are not long enough for a full school dance number in the comments. And while Elizabeth was right, it wasn't like High School Musical at all, it's important to realize the similarities. Our lives are like movies in that they tell the story of us. Today, we wear costumes, gather here, to celebrate the story you've created so far and acknowledge the one ahead. Just like the movies or a play in the theater, our past 4 years have been made up of smaller scenes leading us up to this point. Some of those scenes were predictable, some were silly, and some even sad. Nevertheless, class of 2017, we got to graduation thanks to all of the amazing people in our lives. To those with us today, thank you for being here. After my brother Parker spoke in 2014, I'm honored to carry on the Huseby family tradition of delivering the commencement speech and thanking the Academy for everything it's provided our class during our time here. Class of 2017, I am so humbled to have been your second choice male speaker. No, really, I'm in good company. Lots of second choices have worked out in history. Lyndon B. Johnson, Teddy Roosevelt, and when Uber's prices surged, Lyft. 2 weeks ago, my phone rang from a number I did not recognize. After hesitantly answering, Mrs. Clark's voice came through the phone. She said, "Hello, is this Cade?" in a calm yet unsettling voice. And I was pretty sure something bad was about to follow. I had no idea what I had done wrong, or if I had even done something wrong, but when she said she, quote, had some news, I was pretty sure I would not be with you here all today at graduation. So, as it turns out, Mrs. Clark was calling to let me know that I would be speaking here today as the second most voted male chosen to represent our class. Well, I guess the popular vote's just not feeling it this year. The majority of the class of 2017, including myself, voted for Max Evans. However, after hearing the news and finding out that I was runner-up, I went over to Vasily's house. Together, we had his guy hook me up with some Russian grade hacking, allowing me to access FA email and forge a congratulatory message, inviting him to something called a Youth National Rowing Championship and a real rowing race. It's a real place called Sarasota, Florida. We got him, Vasily. This fall, for the first time in our lives, we will have the most agency over our choices than we've ever had before. Perhaps you'll think of joining Greek life or the a cappella club, but whatever you end up doing, just make sure it feels right. It can be easy for us to label the instincts of our moral compass as unoriginal ideas, but the truth is our intuitions are almost always right. We make our choices every day as students. Most of them so far have been to survive in this socially demanding environment while we develop from children to adults in school. In psychology this year, Ms. Reed taught us about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those of you not familiar, it's a 5-tiered pyramid that prioritizes our basic human needs. From the bottom to the top, the lower, more fundamental needs must be met before we can ascend to the next. In other words, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a scientific way of proving parents everywhere right when they say you can't get a graduation sleep on 3 hours of speech. Oh wait, no, sorry, I literally just said that. As a college preparatory establishment, FA has definitely prepared me well for days of sleep deprivation and snoozing through our 8 a.m.s. Mrs. Clark again, I'm sorry. In college, We'll finally be able to reach past the basic levels of the hierarchy, physiological safety, belongingness, and esteem towards the top of the pyramid, striving for what he calls self-actualization. Self-actualization is the process of exploring one's max potential, a necessity that drives each and every one of us. There's a need for fulfillment in each of us, a daunting challenge we're tasked with, but in college, we will begin our journey. As always, there will be voices swaying your decision at every fork in the road. But remember, it's your responsibility to yourself and others to make choices that bring you happiness and fulfillment, rather than leaving you looking back, wondering, what if? Jim Carrey once said, "You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance at doing what you love." By taking risks in college and beyond, our stories have the ability to be meaningful, like, for instance, Troy Bolton's in High School Musical. Troy follows his intuition. You'll remember that Troy's entire basketball team and father judged his decision to audition for the Winter Musical. However, he followed his heart and left an admirable impact on the status quo of his entire high school, instilling confidence in his friends to reveal their own hidden passions. The High School Musical 1 song, "Stick to the Status Quo," celebrates all of the unconventional talents of East High students, who previously felt too much social pressure. In the dance number, they publicly admit that they bake, play cello, or even pop, lock, jam, and break. Friends Academy has taught us the power of diversity, not only of skin color or background, but in every aspect of identity. A diverse life is not one of difference, rather one of awareness. Think about it. Think about it. If everyone you meet talks like you, acts like you, or looks like you, there would be no point in your even existing. Therefore, celebrating each other's differences is ultimately what allows us to shine even brighter within a crowd. Although it consists of nearly 100 students, I believe our class is characterized by a strong individuality that we couldn't do without as a whole. For example, we would not be as uplifted without Caitlin's passion for dance, as hyped without Danny's sportsmanship, or as caffeinated without Elizabeth's daily iced coffee from the $1 Million Deli. But with or without coffee, this morning is pivotal in all of our lives. Students are transforming into alumni before your very eyes. Parents are seeing their children graduate. And faculty get to send 100 individually impacted minds into this world. Celebrities, scientists, presidents have all begun their adult stories in these very costumes. Just remember, each person you come into contact with is in the middle of their own story, a story that has led them to cross paths with you at that very moment. Regardless of how similar or different you may assume their moment looks from your own. After today, we will all begin our own sequels to the Friends Academy High School Musical, for which we are now taking our final bows. For me, the University of Southern California Musical, or as Ryan Gosling knows it, La La Land. Whatever musical you're cast in next, go into it without assumption or judgment, and with an open mind to realize your potential, even in unexpected ways. Get your head in the game, bop to the top, and break free so you can live a story worth telling. Thank you.